We are Fandom Roulette.
Two nerds with a passion for
History,
video games,
tabletop games,
and, well, really any nerdy stuff that comes into our lives.
While we might not be able to name every ship classification in Star Wars,
Or every Pokemon.
or every spell in the player's handbook,
Well, one of us can.
we're still here to have a good time.
Hey everyone, welcome to Fandom Roulette. This is Joe.
And I'm Cody.
And on Fandom Roulette, this is a podcast where we talk about a myriad of nerdy things, including such things as history, video games, tabletop role-playing games, and whatever nerdy stuff that we feel like talking about as we go along through the episode, and we talk about it as it kind of comes up. Yep. Nice, concise, nice in and out. Introduction there. Hey Cody, how have you been, my man?
I have been well. How have you been?
I have been grand.
Yeah.
Can I let you in on a little secret?
Yes, but you can't
Okay.
tell anyone else.
So breaking scoop. So not to date this episode or anything, but we're getting close to Cleveland Comic-Con, which I will be attending.
Nice.
I'll do some reporting. I might do some reporting on the scene or whatever.
Yeah.
But my friend's parents had a fantastic idea, and they bought us some packets of fake coins.
Ooh.
Why do you think that they bought us packets of fake coins, Cody?
Oh, are you gonna toss coins to your Witcher?
Oh, Valley of Plenty.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'm
It's
very
so good.
excited to just start tossing coins to Geralt as I'm walking around.
Oh, please do.
And or I guess should you toss them to Jaskier as well?
Yeah,
man.
of course.
He's entitled to like 10% or whatever.
Right, whatever the percentage of that is. So I have
Yeah.
a fun story about doing silly things at cons.
Hit me.
Back in my con going heyday, when I was but a young lad, I think I started going to cons at like 16.
Okay.
And one of my favorite things to do is me and a buddy of mine would get behind people who were cosplaying Link from Legend of Zelda and like Gregorian chant the Song of Time like behind them as if we were monks of the Temple of Time, and it was so much fun to do. Everyone was always like, what the fuck? Why are you so good at that? I don't know why, but we just love doing that.
Yeah. That's fun. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we talking so I'm excited. Like I said, it's a fun event to go to. It's not the world's biggest con by any stretch of the imagination. But it's always a good time is always had, even simply just standing there and like guessing the cosplays. But I'm expecting that there are going to be a couple big ones this upcoming con. I'm going to expect to see some Baby Yoda everything.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna expect that they're gonna be like baby strollers.
Oh
that
yeah,
have
absolutely.
Baby
Anyone
Yodas in
with a
them.
kid will cosplay Baby Yoda.
And then let's hope that we get some cool Mandos. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, like a really good Mando cosplay.
So I mean,
Definitely
like
some
cool Mandalorian armor, but
yeah.
ain't never seen that at a con before.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
Oh. I fell for it. I bit it. I got it.
And then probably like a million My Hero Academias. So
What? Why would you say that?
because there's always a million My Hero Academias.
All right, look
Comic-Cons.
here. Look at. First off, I don't like the way you said that. You said it with a derogatory tone.
What? My Hero Macadamia?
Oh my, yes. There's that whole phrase. You were just like, oh, I'm going to see a bunch of those. Second off, My Hero Academia is awesome. I get why people cosplay it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
My favorite one is the bowl cut with the weird face.
Bowl cut with the weird face.
Yeah, it's like the purple face or whatever.
Purple face?
Right? Yeah, he's like the Sasuke of My Hero Academia. Whatever.
I think you're talking about Todoroki if you're talking about the Sasuke of the group. Yeah, he's got a burn mark on
right now.
Yeah, it's not purple, but it's like a burn mark, and his hair is white and red.
It's purple enough.
If you add a little blue in there, sure.
Yeah, okay.
That's how colors work.
Yeah, hey. I mean, you are the artist here, so
it's true. I did go to school for it.
That's true. And it's purple adjacent. But anyway,
unless we're thinking about different characters, shit.
No, I am. No, you're right. It's half of his hair is white and half of his hair is red.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we are talking about that.
He's got a grape on his face. He's got a big old splotch on his face.
Anyways.
And look, he's so mad in this picture. He's like, bah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's an angsty kid. He was basically a product of superhero breeding, which is fucked up.
I like this one that I'm seeing right now on my screen with the purple cowl over his head. Or its head. I don't know what gender this character is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing now in the...
It is, yeah. This is the Witcher episode.
The Witcher episode where...
that is literally grapes on their head. I think. Yeah.
Oh, you're... Minata, I believe his name is.
I've not actually watched this show.
It's okay. That's fine. We'll watch it together at some point.
Is it apparent based on my describing weird...
the fact that he has literal grapes. He's actually the
do you eat the grapefruit?
He's the problematic one. He's like the pervert of the group and is always trying to Yes, he did eat the gum grapefruit.
Oh my god. Gum grapefruit.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, that's fun. So anyway, hey, we're talking Witcher again.
Yeah,
some more.
Not My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I haven't watched that show yet ever.
Wow.
Maybe one day.
No, we're sitting you down, boy.
I'm not opposed to it. It's just time is finite, Cody.
Time is finite, but you just watched the whole Star Trek. You can't tell me.
I mean, that's my Star Trek time. That's my Trek time. Hi, nice to meet you.
All right.
Hi, it's my Trek time.
Anyways, let's toss coins.
Let's toss some coins to our Witchers. So last we met, we were talking about like the law of surprise and the sort of like the mystical, magical elements of the world, and how we both kind of appreciated the fact that this was like a world that really felt it wasn't one of those deals where it was like, oh no, it's like magic, but magic is just science that we don't understand yet. But you, the audience, knows what we're talking about, right? Because you're smart, because you're from the today times. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this episode. I wanted to kind of tackle two things kind of simultaneously, if that's all right with you. A code, a D.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about like the ending of the end of the season / like Nilfgaard and that whole situation. And then a little bit of talk about like what we are thinking about for next season, like what we're hoping for. Because much like My Hero Academia, I came into this series with like no prior knowledge. I have not read the books. I had not played any of the video games. I knew enough people who told me that they were good, but like time is finite and I don't have video game time in my life at the moment, at the very least. And so there were things that I learned since watching the show that I'm kind of curious to see about like going forward in the future and things like that. I want to talk a little bit about that. So let's start off with what'd you think of the end of the season, Cody?
I thought it was fucking rad. That huge
big old
like
fuck off battle.
Yeah, so long spoilers if you're watching this for The Witcher.
How many episodes in are we in this Witcher talk? Anyway.
Yeah, but anyways, there's this huge battle between the wizards of shit. What are they called?
It's just like the Brotherhood of Mages, right, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Brotherhood, whatever. We're going to say it wrong for the entire episode, but it's the Brotherhood of Sorcerers. God damn it.
Yeah,
So
we'll
the
go with
wizards basically kind of team up, or not team up, but like they understand that Nilfgaard kind of taking over complicates things, because the wizard that they put in to basically control or keep an eye on Nilfgaard basically is like, nah, dog, I actually like these guys. Fuck you. We're out. Peace.
Also,
And so, yeah.
it seems like there's an implication that she has what's the word I'm looking for? Either has built up a character to believe that he is like the leader of a religion, or has herself fallen like prey to this like religious cult. That was something I was not 100% clear on myself. But I thought it was kind of interesting because, yeah, like as Cody was saying, the mages for the most part are kind of there to just like kind of keep the status quo going, right?
Yeah.
They're there to like, okay, like, hey, there's tensions brewing at the border or whatever, like get in there and convince everyone that it's okay. And it's like you have to have a war periodically sometimes. And I think like Sintras, where Ciri is from, like they don't have a mage official council.
Yeah, they didn't have a court wizard assigned to them because they were
had
like
a druid or a warlock. I don't actually remember
something that wasn't a part of the
this
brotherhood of wizards or whatever,
this council.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just thought it was interesting because once again, with the interesting thing about the way that they presented all of this with like this bouncing around timeline and things like that is, in episode 1, obviously like Nilfgaard is this gigantic threat, and you're like, oh my god, Nilfgaard is coming, and you see very few Nilfgaardian faces throughout the season. They're almost always in like heavy, armor, and they have like their helmets on and things like that. And there's something about them where it's like they feel very foreign and or monstrous,
Yeah, they're very imposing with like their dark, like almost black iron armor and like all the stuff that goes with that, like, and the fact that the way they showed them basically tear through this town and basically tear through everywhere that Ciri goes and like kills and like indiscriminately, like
it's really
they
intense.
they definitely set Nilfgaard up to be the quote unquote villain of the series so far.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting because it's like as we bounce around, you learn that like Nilfgaard was rather disrespected and was kind of like this joke for a good long while, and Yennefer sees going to Nilfgaard as kind of like this fate worse than death almost, because they're hard to control, and even then, like, there's so much unrest and civil war that they're kind of, as soon as one king gets on the throne, it's only a matter of time before he's deposed by another king, so it's kind of interesting to see, like, I feel like that was one of my easiest ins for the uneven timeline, was like, what is the status of Nilfgaard at this moment? Which is a wild way to watch a TV show, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
to pay attention to the background villain and their reputation in the kingdom at large. But anyway, I thought it was an interesting ending as well. But the thing I'm more interested in talking about is, so like I said, I came into this series with like very little knowledge about the franchise as a whole, and I kind of came to this realization. Spoiler alert for the Witcher books and video game series. So put a timestamp right about here. My friend informed me that that at the end of the last Witcher book, Geralt dies, and then in the video games he is like discovered to have actually been like knocked out and has amnesia and things like that. And so like the books happened, but the video games are this own new continuity. And so obviously I think that like it's interesting because I have heard from people who have read the book that, you know, they're following the books rather closely. And so it's this idea of like, what, like, how much are they going to bring in from both moving forward, right? Because obviously I think a large number of the audience that came to this Netflix series, I don't want to make assumptions or anything, but I assume a large number of them came to the video games first, right?
Well, that was definitely the case for me, for sure. I knew nothing about the game, or I knew nothing about the books. The only reason I even know the franchise existed, quite frankly, was I heard of Witcher 2, and I was like, oh, I should probably play that. But that was back before I had a PC powerful enough to even play it, or a console that could even play it. If it was a console release, I don't think it was. But then Witcher 3 is kind of where I kind of picked up and went bananas on that game. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are tons of people who played the game and didn't read books, because, you know, books.
Sure. Well, but I mean, and I think it's interesting, right? Because it's like, obviously Henry Cavill is coming in as, I don't know, you know, I don't know if he's read the books or not, but he's certainly played the games, because he's very clearly modeling his candor and his voice and his persona off of the video game character.
Right. You can definitely see that.
Whereas, you know, like with the, you know, I've been told that the kind of vignette nature of the first season is because the first couple of books are just a bunch of short stories that this author was publishing in like magazines and things like that, and then he compiled them into like a book.
Right.
So that being said, moving forward, what are some things that you would like to see more of? So I can tell you a couple of things that I know. I know that we're going to be getting more Witchers.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. Mainly because, you know, there was an implication throughout the first season of the show that it made it feel like Geralt was the last Witcher. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah, so like the way he talks about the Witcher, or like Witchers in general, like you don't even realize there are other ones.
Sure.
Until you get to the episode where one of them dies.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, I guess you do see another Witcher, but he's kind of a dick. And
right. Yeah, you see him for literally the opening, and then like it's Geralt being like, oh, this fucking asshole, like, god damn it, and he's gotta like fix his mess. Yeah, so.
And like I know it's like a workplace guild more than anything else, and it's not like this brotherhood of where we're going to like clasp hands and all of this stuff. But like, you know, in the games at least, you know, you have the Vesemir, I think his name is, who's like this kindly, you know, kind of fatherly Witcher who kind of pokes fun of you and things like that. And so I'm curious to see and learn more about like the Witchers as like a group of people, as a culture, as a job, as an occupation. I'm hoping that we see more of like Geralt's training, or learning a little bit more about like what it takes to become a Witcher, because I've heard it's a pretty brutal process. And then like, yeah, I'm just curious to see too, at the end, we have Geralt and Ciri reunited, and I know that that's like a major crux of the video games. So yeah, I'm just very curious to see like moving forward how they're going to expand upon this world, because I thought season 1 was really cool. I liked a lot of it. I'm curious to see if they're going to stick with the non-linear storytelling aspect of it all. But yeah, it's interesting. Any big thoughts or any big hopes and dreams that you have for future for season 2, which is coming?
Yeah, so there was a Twitter explosion on this concept, but like, I really want Mark Hamill to be Vesemir. Bad. That was so good. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen because I think they already released the cast and I don't think he was on it.
Yeah.
But
It's a good actor though.
Yeah.
Rest assured.
Definitely, I'm excited to see more actual Witchers and like more about the history of being a Witcher, because I know they don't talk about it a lot in that first season, and I get it. That's a lot of kind of extra information that probably isn't 100% needed, but I do remember having to explain to Jess the kind of things that were going on, like the fact that Witchers are kind of like these insane alchemists and can like brew potions that like would normally kill a human, but like give Witchers like superpowers. And then there's another aspect, like the fact that Witchers kind of know loose magic. They basically have access to like very mild forms of it. Like they can basically, at least in the games, you can like kind of Jedi mind trick people into just like, you could just say something and wiggle your fingers and they're like, oh yeah, that's the thing.
Well, it's funny because he attempts to do that once and it fails.
Right.
And so he never does it again, which is, to be fair, that's kind of the way I play Magic users. But yeah, I mean, no, I totally agree with you.
So I would like to see them get into, because like they show off Ken, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The shield. And then they briefly show the wind. Fuck, I forget the name.
Yeah, he does. He does
be
Oxia, or no, Oxia is the mind control one. Oh, it doesn't matter.
So
someone's screaming at their phone right now. They're like, "It's
they can't even fucking get it right." So like, I would like them to explore that because it definitely feels different from what I've seen in the games, because it's like runic. And, like, he's, like, making hand signs and stuff like that in order to cast the spells, but the wizards don't seem to do that. So, like, I'm curious if they elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure.
I'd also like to see Kaer Morhen, which is the Witchers, like, or at least the keep of the Witchers from the School of the Wolf. So I guess, again, spoilers, there are multiple schools of wizards, much like in like a D&D universe, there's multiple schools of bards.
Sure.
And the wolf is basically, they focus on being like predatory hunters. Like they're worried about like, you know, dealing decisive strikes that kill things and like hunting things down. But then there's like the Witcher class, or the Witcher House of the Bear, which they're all about being these kind of stalwart, sturdy warriors. And I would be curious to see more of that, or what they do with that concept. If it's even
Viper School.
Yeah, the Viper School, which is like about using poisons and doing swift strikes. Like, yeah, there's all sorts of schools. Granted, at least in the games, it sounds like they're all but forgotten, or they've all died off, and like, you may or may not find like a handful of people, but like it kind of sounds like back in the day there were tons of Witchers.
Yeah. Well, I think it was said at one point that there weren't there were a lot, but there wasn't a huge number because they ultimately ended up kind of being a failure.
Right.
An experiment. But anyway, yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like, I see a bright future for this show, and I'm curious to see how much they pull in from both source elements. Like, are they going to start, you know, bringing in some more game aspects in the future, or are they going to stick mainly to the books? Because I don't think anyone's super mad that they're not doing, you know, biggest thing I saw was like people making jokes that like Geralt's not just like slamming bread during the boss battles.
Just fucking smashing bread while being struck in the gut by a sword. Like, just like, I'm just imagining him getting stabbed. He's like, hold on, let me pause time and jam 20 loaves into my mouth.
Or like the fact that he's not like constantly just like going through his inventory and like finding the minutia of whatever he needs to like finish a quest or whatever. I also love just like the idea that he's not like riding along, like it's like, I have to, time is of the essence, and it's like, hey peasant, what are you up to? And it's like, oi, Mr. Witcher, you have to get rid of the ghouls that have been attacking me turnips. He's like, all right, I have to get to this city really quick, but like
Yeah.
I'll fight these ghouls for you. That's like the ghouls are like, hey, actually, if you go over there, and it's like 30 minutes later, it's like, oh, thank you, Mr. Witcher, and it's just like, all right, and then your contact's still sitting there. It's like, have you been waiting this whole time? He's like, yeah, man, I'm an NPC in a video game. Of course, I've been sitting there this whole time. But yeah, no, it's like, you know, like that's seemed to be the biggest complaint, which I think is cool because it's a fine needle to thread.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
you have a beloved book series and also a beloved video game franchise. So
I also I'm a little upset that Roach hasn't been seen like scaling a 90-foot sheer cliff or being on top of a house after like entering a new area. Like I miss glitchy Roach.
Well, that'll be interesting.
I'm just teasing. But yeah, I think they're doing a really good job. I think the only complaint that I've heard thus far is that some things are not explained about The Witcher itself.
Okay.
Like just like his general abilities.
Sure.
Because Jess was like, why is he able to do that? Why are these things happening? And I'm like, oh, because in the video game, that's like what he does. And so like, for me, I understand that. Right. But
Okay,
to somebody who might not be
as
well versed or like doesn't even know what the game is or looks like that can be a little jarring to all of a sudden that like, oh, you know, we talk about magic and how like there's this like cosmic threat or whatever, but like Geralt's able to just like throw up a fucking force field shield whenever he wants because reasons.
Yeah. Can I tell a quick little anecdote and then we'll
absolutely
up here. So I was talking to my friend who was the video game player about it, and who is reading the books at the moment, and I asked him a question because there's the episode and the scene with the Striga, where there's like very much a glamour shot of him putting on those like those wolf brass knuckles, and it's fucking so cool looking, and it's like a beautiful close up as he like slides it on and stuff. And I was like, so like that's from the video game, right? And he goes, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, man, it was just shot in such a way where it was like, yeah, we know the fucking like 3-hour side quest you had to go on to like earn enough whatever to like make these white wolf brass knuckles. And he was like, no, I just think they thought it looked cool. Like, what has happened to us that like whenever they do something like that, we just assume it's from a thing, like it's there for the fans. Like it was just a cool shot.
No, it is a cool shot, but the thing is I don't think in any of the games Geralt uses. So he's got 2 swords. That's like his thing. But like that's it.
Monsters and a steel sword for people. No, but I just thought it was hilarious that it was like
It does kind of feel.
It felt very much like if you had bought the DLC, you get the like exclusive white wolf, like brass knuckles to punch like real.
Oh,
good.
Absolutely! It definitely feels like it's like a service fan nod. Like, hey fans, you like that fucking shit? Aw, yeah. Like. That definitely
I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too.
But
yeah, if he's got more weapons, like if he's got like fucking like a foot blade that I'm unaware of, and he like shows that shit off, I'd be like, oh fuck yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. It was good, and I'm excited for the next season. So
I'm super pumped for the next season. I want some Witcher action.
Oh hell yeah! So shall we wrap her up then?
Yeah.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to Fandom Roulette. Hey, if you like this episode, you want to hear more, you want to learn more, want to see more, want to do more, Cody, hit him with some info.
Well, if you want our nexus, the area in which our brains converge into one melding circuit board, you can go to our website at www.fandomroulette.com, where we have all of our episodes live when they get uploaded to the internet. If you scroll down, you have our bio page where you can learn a little more about us and watch as we grow and put more bios and more episodes and things like that. And then at the bottom, there's a little area in which you can put your internet handle and any kind of feedback or questions about anything we talk about. We like hearing from fans. We like hearing from people to kind of engage and talk about the things that we say, because, you know, we do this for fun and we enjoy conversing, and so any kind of feedback or just questions in general, we would love to hear from you. And then underneath that is all of our social media links and all of our other platforms, such as Twitter, where we are fandomr_podcasts, if you want to search for us there. We tweet whenever I go live for our video game streams, and when we post new videos or new podcast episodes and such.
Oh yeah.
We are also on Facebook and Instagram, all Fandom Roulette. If you're just looking to see fun memes or just things that we chat about during our day-to-day. If you are having a hard time figuring out how to be like, hey, brodette, whoever you are talking to, and you're like, I like this nerdy podcast, but they're like, I don't listen to SoundCloud or whatever thing you're listening to this on. This is an audio medium. You can find us on a myriad of places, such as iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, and your RSS feeds, so your podcast trackers and apps and things like that. We're also on YouTube, so if you're a YouTube person, I know I'm super heavy on YouTube. You can find us there if you search Fandom Roulette.
Yes. And please remember to like, rate, review, subscribe, leave a message, leave a comment, talk about how you like it, how you like us, all that good stuff. We do this for you, and it's always a pleasure to hear from you and get in touch with you. So,
yes.
But that's going to be it for this episode of Fan Roulette. And signing off for Fan Roulette, this is Joe.
And I'm Cody.
And as always, stay nerdy.
Stay super nerdy.